And we are back. Episode... Shit.
We really should start writing these down.
Episode 11.
No, but then we wouldn't have this open.
Yeah, no. It's episode 11. Honestly, the thing is...
It's my fault. Blame it on me.
No,
I
you're
wasn't
right.
here last week. I fucked it all up.
You think that this is a bit? It's not.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's 11.
I think you're right.
I feel good with 11.
I think I remember thinking, next week it'll be the week all of us have now done double-digit episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you thought.
I don't know why. But
that's where your brain went.
That's where my brain went.
That's Steiner, man.
My brain is dumb. My brain is real dumb.
Same, bro. Same. But it is episode 11. We are back. The whole gang is here. Whole squad is back. Flanny's a married man. Did it go as your typical like WWE wedding, or was there was no swerves?
Thankfully, there wasn't.
No.
Nobody came up through the altar.
Right.
Nobody busted through the back door. Nobody came flying off where the organist was at. So we were clear. Reception as well. Shit might have got a little left, but nothing in that framed where my wedding or marriage was in jeopardy. Thankfully. So amazing wedding. 7 stars. Fuck you, Dave Meltzer. This was actually 7 stars.
7.
But no, awesome, amazing day. Couldn't have asked for a better day. For the missus and I, it's cool. I'm now calling her my wife, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It takes a while to get used to
that's
that.
right. This I'd never wear rings, so every 2 seconds I'm like, what is this thing on my finger? But it's cool. And honestly, the day was amazing. Again, couldn't have asked for a better day. Couldn't have asked for a better honeymoon. It was awesome to get away and just kind of check out. But excited to be back. I missed last week's pod. You guys had an amazing pod. Shout out to the legendary Jimmy Corderas for joining you, Mike. That was super awesome. Super excited to be able to hopefully chop it up with him again, all of us, like you had mentioned. But yeah, appreciate you guys holding me down last week.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. No, it's your head.
I was just gonna say, I think the question everybody wants to know: was there public pooping?
There was not. The water was way too clear. Thankfully, where we were is way too clear.
No hiding from that.
I wouldn't have been able to hide from that. I also was worried, you know how sometimes if you piss in a pool, the blue stuff comes around. I'm like, if I shit in this water,
is it?
I don't know.
They say that, but I the that's just urban legend.
I don't know.
Listen,
it could be, but I don't know that I want to be the one to test it out.
If you've ever been in a pool in Vegas, the number one thing that I have to say is never go under the water because everybody's pissing in Vegas in the pool.
So it's not blue.
Yeah, not there. Maybe they expect it, but maybe at a resort.
Maybe
a little more class.
This was adults only, so maybe they're if there was kids, 100% would have blamed it on 7-year-old fucking Tommy in the corner who's pissing.
It's not like he was on the Jericho cruise where people are just pissing and shit in their pants left and right.
I'm not saying he's gonna pee in a pool. I'm just saying I don't think that's the water turns blue is a real thing.
Well,
I don't know.
Thankfully, he didn't find out.
Right.
And also, thankfully, we're all going to be in Vegas around this time next year, a little earlier than this, so we can test it out as a collective.
100%. I'm actually sad because I went to Vegas once. The hotel that I stayed in, they're closing.
It's closing.
Yeah, they're combining with the Hard Rock. The Mirage is where I stayed. They're combining with Hard Rock apparently. So
I think this is gonna have a lot more in Vegas, where TKO is just gonna buy all of the strip, and everyone's just gonna own. It's gonna be owned by one person.
Monopoly,
not that
man.
That's a good thing.
No,
I don't
it's
think
not.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna take away the unique identity of each casino, because that's the beauty of Vegas. And we're about a year out, but I'm still already starting to formulate, by then, my child will be about 8 months old. 8 months, little selfish, they can sustain themselves a little bit with the wife if I go for a few days.
That now that we're going to Vegas, you have to name the baby. I was going to say Carlos.
Okay. Ooh.
But maybe we go Carlo.
I feel like
Carlos a little more Portuguese, Italian.
A little more,
yeah. So I think maybe we go there.
Not Monty.
I mean, that's a good name. That's a great fucking name. I mean, you can go Tony D'Angelo if you really want to leave all the way in. But I think maybe that's the name. And also, absolutely, Zach Galifianakis. 100%.
Thank you.
100% I can see it.
I try to gas my guy.
I can't wait to get to Vegas and see your baby strapped onto his chest.
Right, exactly.
And then my wife's going to be awesome.
And I'll forget it was your baby, and I won't know whose baby it was.
And my wife on the next flight to be like, first of all, we're divorced. Second of all, Nick, give me my baby.
Right. And then the podcast is over.
But I also weirdly feel like she
never
would
comes around
completely
again.
entrust you with maybe even in Vegas, she'd be like, you know what? I know my husband. He's gonna have a good time. He's gonna live it up. I probably trust Nick a little more. Just to strap that baby to my chest and take. Yeah, I feel like she would. You are just. I mean,
she seems smarter.
You have this aura about you that I feel like I would give you my unborn child to take care of in Vegas.
Like if DCYF ever sees this, they're taking your child away.
Yeah.
If they ever see you say those comments, you're never. Thankfully, you don't have a kid
not
right
yet,
now.
Not yet.
If you did, it'd be gone right now.
I don't know. I'm with Flanny on this. I feel like I would trust Flanabam to
I would.
not at the table, Carlos, teach him manners, all that good stuff. That's basically So there you go. Episode 11 off with a bang.
That's how we got here.
That's why we're here.
What episode are we on?
No, my
this is a
brain.
great-
Listen,
this is a great
I
start.
do too many things at once, and all of them involve some type of show, so it's hard to keep track of. Most of them I don't keep track of, but these I like to keep track of, although I am very, very bad at keeping track of them. But that's why
And I think we bury the lead here where my typical work day is like your typical 9 to 5 kind of work day.
Right.
Flanabam's, yours is not a typical 9 to 5. It's a little, you start a little earlier, you end a little earlier than that, but not as early as this guy.
No.
Yeah.
So like I don't think you get enough credit that when we're recording, you are absolutely sleep deprived.
Yeah.
We are like maybe you're probably getting there a little bit, maybe a little delirious. I'm kind of coming down. You are just completely gone.
I'm gone. I'm all.
So I don't know that there's enough appreciation for that when we record these.
Thank you very much.
That is very true. By this point in time, you've probably been up for like 12 hours.
A little more
If
than
not
that.
more.
More
Yeah.
than that. Been up about 13. But you know, the thing is though, there's no place else I'd rather be. Be right here with you guys.
Very much the same.
So there it is. I appreciate that. This is what we do. We appreciate each other.
right.
There's a faction that lasts forever. I know that sometimes they want people, friends to split up in professional wrestling. Not here.
Now we're the New Day.
Yeah, we're the New Day. We are the New Day.
Perfect.
I love
And
it.
now, if God forbid, no, it wouldn't happen. It can't happen.
Speaking of the New Day,
I really hope I didn't just speak that into existence.
It can't
Oh,
happen.
no.
Right? It can't, right?
If I did, I'll leave the podcast. Like that's messed up on my part.
I don't think so,
I'll
man.
graciously
That's your loser leaves town match
I'm
if
like,
that
fuck
happens.
I fucked up.
I think that's probably the safest bet you can have.
Right?
Honestly, I was trying to think back through time, like who stuck together forever. I'm thinking like Arn and Flair.
Not even
Like
they did.
even they didn't, right? So
Yeah.
like, there's not many. The New Day's probably the safest we have.
Yeah. I think
Gotta
you're
be.
right.
I think from start to finish of their existence, it's been 10 years now?
Yeah, at
Right?
least.
2014,
Yeah.
2013 is when they began?
Yeah, around then.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at a decade of the New Day. That's longer than a lot of our favorite wrestlers' careers. Well,
Right?
some
That is over twice as long as Steve Austin's
Like,
run.
Run. Yeah.
which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
But that, again, that's a Steiner math time thing where
Right.
we
Yes, it
always
is.
we always say that, and then we're like, wait a minute, that's because we were young. So
Right.
that time frame makes up more of our total life.
Yeah, it's sad that those 4 years felt longer than these past 10 years have.
Yes. Oh, dude.
Which
100%.
also makes me feel really old.
Yeah.
It does. And I was going to say, similar to like the New Day, where, obviously Big E's not competing in ring. At a certain point, one of us is going to have this weird injury to like our voice box where we can't contribute the same way to this podcast. We're going to figure out
Sound
another
like
way to
Kane.
contribute. We're going to have the, those truth, remember those truth commercials? That one lady in the shower?
Yeah.
That was very creepy. But like, we'll get there, but we're still going to be a team.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
it's gonna be the
absolutely.
case.
Right, yeah.
We're going to be together forever.
It also reminds me, it's funny, I did a lot of Steiner math on vacation because we
Let's
were in
go.
Mexico, so everything was in pesos.
Yeah, you-
and I was looking at like
Oh,
this
man.
bottle of
That's gotta be rough.
sunscreen that read like $5,495, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And I'm like, that's pesos. Okay, now let me try to figure this out.
Yeah.
I tried to channel my inner Scott Steiner. It didn't work.
Didn't
And then
work.
I just got the car. I was like, you just tell me how much it's gonna be. They're like, oh, it's $4. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, Jesus Christ! Like, why does pesos need to read like
Right.
so much more? I know it's less, but why does it need to read this way?
I totally get it.
When you're drunk and on other substances, how are you
Yeah.
supposed to? I don't know.
The conversion rates don't add. They don't make much sense. I just know that they all love American dollars.
They do.
They
Yes,
do
they
love
do.
the American money.
And it goes so much further. Like
So much
you
further.
throw somebody a 5 or a 10, and they're like, "Whoa,
Right.
holy
when
shit!"
you go south now when you go out across to Europe anymore.
Oh,
now
no.
now
That
money
is
doesn't
complete
mean
opposite.
shit.
No. You want to have a good time? You go to DR. You go to the Caribbean. You go to Mexico. That's where you're going to get the most out of your money.
Yeah. We're teaching you about Vegas,
Life lessons,
economics, what else? Geography.
all
We're
the
covering
things
it all.
we failed in school.
Yes.
All the things we didn't do well
I
in
mean,
school.
pick a
we're
class,
bringing them
any
back to
class.
this.
That's why we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pick a class, any class, brother. That's
That's why I majored in
basically.
communications in
Same,
school.
yeah.
You don't have to do shit.
Very much same.
That's why I didn't major in shit. I
That's
just
all.
I just got hired somehow. So good to have you back, Flanny.
Thanks, good to be back.
A long-winded way of saying it's good to have the boys back together. It's been a fun week, but basically, as far as WWE goes, it's been mostly around the king and queen of the ring. Okay, because that's coming up. Saudi we're gonna get to their greed in a little bit.
Next weekend, I think, right?
May 25th.
Yeah, not this coming Saturday, but following Saturday.
A week from this coming Saturday. King and
or
Queen
past Saturday,
of the
depending
Ring.
on when you're watching / listening to this.
Or 10 years ago, if you find this.
That's also
we'll get better at actual dates.
Yeah.
I don't know what date. I haven't known what date
That's
it is
what
for the
I
last
don't know what
month.
the day is right now.
We'll get better at actual dates for you all.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't listen right away, shout out to those of you who always find the time to double back, whether it's a couple days a week. Those of you, I know some of our listeners and followers double back and do maybe a couple episodes at a time. It's always appreciated.
Very
always.
much so.
Definitely always appreciate it. And we like the questions and the reaction and the we could take criticism too. Let us know
Please.
what things you want to hear, things you think suck.
Because at the very least we get to come on here and cut a promo on you.
Right, exactly.
At the very least.
Yeah, and we'll never allow you to cut a promo back on our show.
No, first off, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Do it on your own time, pipsqueak. All right. So this past week,
I just had this vivid memory of Harvey Wimpleman just in front of my face. I don't know why.
Pipsqueak.
When I hear Pipsqueak, I think of Harvey Wimpleman.
What do we think of the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament? Because we all agree that we missed the days it was all on one pay-per-view, but I've been enjoying it. They've been giving the matches time.
That's the thing. That's the one nice thing about this format is it gives each match more time than if you just did it all on one show.
Right. So I think that's been definitely the benefit of it is for people who like matches and like to see, people get some work in and whatever. You've been seeing it. I mean, to me, one of the more surprising matches was the Gunther and Kofi match.
Yeah.
That was a great match. And like, it's Kofi Kingston. Like, he's a legend, former champion. It's not that I expected really anything less, but the amount of time that they gave them, and Kofi really gave Gunther a run for his money. And I thought that was dope. For him to have that spot, at this point, kind of in his career.
No, I thought it was awesome. Same. That one was a banger for me. I didn't get to watch a ton of SmackDown and Raw.
Well, you were on a honeymoon. It's
but that
understandable.
was one of those where I went back and watched the whole match.
Yeah.
Because I thought the build, obviously, with Gunther beating the hell out of Woods and really hurting him and setting it up. And I think that's the thing. Is like, we know any of these folks can go in the ring and have a match, but are they going to be allowed the time?
Right.
Are they going to be allowed the opportunity to go in and do their thing, get their spots in, and get their work done? And that match was awesome. The storytelling in it was great. All the way through the finish. I thought Kofi had an absolute amazing showing. I feel like we haven't gotten to see a lot of in ring from Kofi as much lately.
Not solo.
Or it's been a while.
Yeah.
Certainly not
he has
solo.
also been dealing with some injuries.
He has been banged up. And I know he's probably on the other side of his career in terms of career arc and stuff. But it was nice to see him get in there and go tell a great story, and just kind of say, "Hey guys, go do your thing." Like, I think that's been the cool thing that we've, I know last week you guys had mentioned the one thing we didn't love, and I am in complete agreement, is those back in the day where you have multiple matches on the actual King of the Ring, and you can see the build, and you can see, you mentioned like guys being DQ'd, and a guy getting a bye, or just being so beat up by you get to that last match that, and then it also leads to the great promos, and you think of Austin, and you think of Bret Hart, and all the different builds in the night of, that I think that's the part we're missing, but I think giving guys more opportunities and giving the women more opportunities is something we don't get to see.
Absolutely.
You getting to see like Corbin get in there and have a really cool match, and then obviously him going over because he's him. He is him at this point.
I'm hoping he comes out of the SmackDown side.
I hope so. I really, 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 really hope that Melo was the guy that come through from that side.
For those who haven't picked up on it, it's Carmelo Hayes.
He's him.
But
he is him.
Oh, 100%.
And the thing is that we've known it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we've known Triple H has known it.
Yes.
But like for him to come in and get that push right away, we don't always see it happen.
No,
sometimes you might get a person to jump in and just get the opportunity, but not necessarily get a dub.
Yeah.
So for him to get a dub was awesome in that spot. And shout out to Corbin again. New life brought into him. And even on the women's side, some of the matches that we've had, like we said, giving folks opportunity on a stacked roster, finding those moments when you can is so important. And I love that they're at least being very strategic with the new format. They could have threw the new format out there as just something to just have, but at least they're being very diligent in very understanding of, we might only be able to give this man or woman 3 minutes this week, 5 minutes this week, but we're going to make sure they get that opportunity, which we don't always get.
Think about the tournaments that we got in NXT, when they introduced the Cruiserweight belt, right? Mm-hmm. Things like that. What else did they have? They had the tag team tournament they had in NXT?
Yeah, the Dusty Classic.
The Dusty Classic. So think about that. Triple H has always put an emphasis on these tournaments, not just to be a predictable, here's how the kayfabe tiers play out. Mm-hmm. It's more of like, hey, let me showcase the talent that these people have, and we're not just going to go out there and say, all right, here's your predictable bracket. let's go out there and show them that, hey, any given night, one of these people can surprise you.
Yeah.
And in regards to Carmelo Hayes, I mean, draft night is a perfect example of like, hey, strap the fucking rocket to this
Cody.
dude. He's going all the way up right to Cody Rhodes, and made them both look like $1 million.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I even think in some cases where there's one, and I think of Lashley being hurt and having to be removed, and they put Dawkins in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if you would have asked me, I would have loved to have Montez Ford in that spot, right?
I
Makes a lot of
agree.
sense. You push him. But also, kudos for Triple H and those being like, you know what? No, we're going to give Dawkins the opportunity.
Right.
Because we know he can go. We want to give him the chance to get out there and showcase his skills. He didn't win. Sure, he didn't go over, but he looked great in the match. And it's an opportunity that he would have gotten otherwise.
Yeah, I think him not going over is actually why I personally prefer Dawkins to Ford.
Yeah, because you knew Tomaton was probably going to win that match.
Win, so give you
Yes,
knew
and
Dawkins
if you do
could
that
put
to
in a
Ford,
good
it's not going to
performance
help.
as well. Exactly.
It's
I think
it would
Ford
have been
has
lose the other way.
I think Ford has a higher overall career ceiling than Dawkins does. So I think put Dawkins in there because he won't be hurt as much by a loss.
Agreed.
Full lengthy wise, long term in his career.
I like the word. I
Ford
like
lengthy wise.
Let
Yeah,
me
we're
ask-
gonna make it a
that's a
thing
good
now.
one.
Let me ask you guys this while we're on the subject. I am a known big Montez Ford fan. Huge fan of Montez. I think the dude is
Same.
incredibly talented, not only in the ring, I think he's super charismatic. He's got the look. He's got it all. Is he somebody that you think could benefit from going somewhere else for a little bit?
Like an NXT?
Like,
or
no,
even
like
though
an AEW. Or,
Probably
you know,
not there, but yeah,
TNA?
give him like a TNA,
TNA.
Japan,
kind of
Mexico,
like Naomi did when she went off there.
I
you know?
do think he could benefit from that.
You know,
He could-
obviously the peak is Cody, right? That's like your ideal situation. Maybe he doesn't get necessarily there as the face of the, but he could be a main event player. And I think he should.
he could be Drew McIntyre.
You know, Andrade is another one on a small scale who I think is still building up.
Oh, he's going to be built up.
He could easily do what Matt Cardona is currently doing.
Yeah,
just completely
100%. Because we haven't seen that arc finish, but I think we know how most of them want that to end with him coming back, having a run.
Because think about some of these, these other companies that would take Montez in and be like, hey, name recognition, here you go, do your thing. Obviously, he may have to come up with a different moniker, but they'll allow him creative freedom to be like, show us what you got, right? He'll go in somewhere, be a main event guy right away, build an even bigger following, pick up some newer fans. So now when the inevitable happens in a couple of years, if let's say it, he comes back, he has that cachet. He's bringing a new fan base with him. He gets that pop at the Rumble or something, and now you elevate him right to either the top of the mid card or into the main event thing. I see him because right now, where would he fit in?
I know it's so stacked.
Where would
up
he fit in right now?
So stacked
with the little amount that we've seen him, especially in the singles, where we thought maybe a couple years ago it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they teased
was
it
happening.
for a while.
He wrestled Roman for the title at one point, if I remember correctly.
It was happening, and then all of a sudden he's back to like basically jobbing as a tag team, in the tag team division, and it sucks.
I thought, and I think we discussed it, and this even probably predates the pod, but like there was this point where we thought they were going to split up the profits, and they split up the profits, but also split from Lashley and do their own thing, and we were like, okay, this is perfect timing, it makes sense, go for it. They didn't do it, but I think that would have been the perfect opportunity. I think now, look at like an LA Knight, right, who's kind of on that fringe teetering. He's already done so much more and been in so many more main event spots than Montez, and he still is trying to break through the glass ceiling to get there. So to your point of how long would it take to be able to build a storyline and make it credible for Tez to even get there, we're probably looking at another 6 months to a year. Whereas, like you said, if he goes and leaves and does something else, like he goes to TNA tomorrow, I believe Moose is the world champion. Yeah. No offense to Moose, but you could put that belt on Tez from day one.
100%.
He's to the moon.
Absolutely.
There's no problem that he can go to Japan. I think he'd be really cool in Japan too.
I think that would be some really cool.
Like imagine him coming in. I don't know that this is how we do it, but like he comes in, beats the hell out of Finley, he takes over Bullet Club, and he runs with that. And now he's the mouthpiece. And like, there's so much you can do with him from talent wise. On the mic, I'm behind marketing. Yeah. I mean, we see what the little, not the little bit. I mean, they gave them a TV show. Obviously, Bianca's a lot to do with that.
That's part of it. Yeah.
There's so much you can do with him, and I hate it. I would hate it if his best years were wasted.
I agree.
At this point.
I think the only reason he hasn't done that yet is because his wife's still there. Yeah. She gets a big
that's
push,
the tricky part.
And he probably gets paid well.
Yeah.
So like he's making good
lives
money.
A pretty good life.
To spend time with his wife. I mean, he's not at the level we want him to be, and he should be. But I think that's probably why he hasn't left yet.
There's a lot. You got your best friend, you got your wife, you got all these things. But he's alluded to it on the show a little bit in terms of like, I'm kind of chasing my wife, trying to get to where she is on the card. So I think he knows it, but
not to be a reality TV mark, but I mean, if you watch their reality show, he does. Even Dawkins is in the ring helping him build towards a singles career.
Right.
And Montez is like, man, like, I'm so happy for my wife, and I'm so proud of you and all this stuff. But and he's like, but I'm like, I want my moment too. Like, because right now I feel like I'm just kind of in purgatory.
He's just there.
And with that situation, with his wife being one of the top, women in the company, plus the reality show, he's in a tough spot. But man, I would love to see that dude really just flourish.
Oh,
and he's still young. He's early 30s, 32?
Yeah, he's tiny.
Around our age, maybe a little bit younger.
Wrestling age very young compared to what a lot of guys are.
Yeah.
And also just young in the game himself. He hasn't been wrestling for a long time. And it's funny because now we mentioned Andrade. I'm thinking that, with Charlotte, had to step away, went to the other company, made a name for himself, now is back, might get a push. It could, there's a lane there for Tez.
Absolutely.
100% there's a lane there for Tez. If he wanted to do it.
It's been done, but I mean, like you said, Cody's like the prime example. Drew McIntyre, I think, is another prime example of you can go out, make a big name for yourself, and come back and be a big deal pretty much right away.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's interesting. It'd be interesting to see now that Dawkins had his singles match in the King of the Ring tournament, what they end up doing with them, because they weren't involved in the tag. Was it on Raw that they had the tag team number one contenders match?
Well, no, because they're not Raw superstars.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was for the World Heavyweight or World Tag titles.
Yeah, so I lose track of who the hell's where sometimes.
I get it. Especially now the draft. And I gotta try to remember who's where. I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah. So good stuff there. The interesting thing that we were talking about Montez and kind of where he fits in the hierarchy of the card or whatever. Sami Zayn, I read something interesting that he said this week that he felt he would have had a more likely chance to become champion under Vince than he feels like under Triple H, because he says that Triple H books out more long term and has a plan, whereas Vince things could change in the night an hour before.
That's true. Although he says that as a current champion.
As a continental champion.
I get what he's saying. I'm just saying.
He's talking about as like a world heavyweight or a WWE champion.
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah. That's okay.
Is that like an indictment on himself in some ways of saying like I'm not and again I don't know that he thinks this, but it sounds like he's like I'm not gonna be built around because they don't think I can be built around, and it has to be more of a quick change type of thing?
No, I think the way I took what he meant by that is he thinks Triple H plans long term. So if you're not in Triple H's long term plan, you're not going to. Where Vince changes his mind every 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe in that 30-second change, he'd be like, Sammy,
you happen to be the guy coming.
You were in my line of
you're the guy.
You're now the world champion.
Yeah, or like we need fans in India. Jinder Mahal, you're the champion.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know. God, I mean, that's I can see where that's the case, but it brings up an interesting point, and I think sucks for Sammy, but I think overall that's better for the WWE product because it's like there's an actual stories being built, and it's not just like, hey, let's pretend the last feud we just had for 3 months didn't happen.
Right.
We're just like all of a sudden going to forget that shit happened, you know?
But I also disagree with Sammy because based on what I had read before Mania was the plan was post Mania, and things had to change because of injuries, but plan was post Mania to start pushing Sammy as a main eventer. Yeah, right. So like maybe once he drops the IC title, he could then start getting that push and maybe eventually be world heavyweight champion.
That's true, and I definitely do think had Vince still been in charge this last 12 to 18 months of Sammy bloodline, you know, all the stuff that he was going through in his personal life and, you know, where he's from and all those different things, I 100% think Vince would have threw the belt at him. 100%. Vince would have made something up, made a way where he would have gotten the belt and been the champion for them to kind of run with that 100%. And not to say they wouldn't have been deserving, because if you would have told me, again, 6 to 12 months ago, can Sammy be the champ? Absolutely. He would have deserved it because of what he was doing. And I think in a lot of ways, that's why he got that IC belt from Gunther, was kind of like, hey, this is a reward for the last year and a half, which he's deserving. But yeah, I mean, I would not be mad at a Sammy run. I think Sammy's capable of so many different things, but I 100% agree that I would much prefer whoever's in charge to be booking this way and not the opposite way.
And I also wonder if Sammy would... If Sammy would be somebody that got picked only because, you know, track record wise, Vince isn't a big fan of indie guys. Yeah. And Sammy is very much an indie guy.
Yes, and he's not fucking Braun Strowman either. Exactly, you know, like he's not 6'8", 275.
No. Well, he does AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Loved AJ Styles.
Absolutely, but AJ could be the exception to the rule.
Yeah. And he's, I mean, in most cases, the exception to the rule.
Absolutely.
Because of how good he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I just thought that was an interesting comment from Sammy, you know. And
I agree.
It's like you said, Nick, especially as a current Intercontinental Champion.
But also, I think it's so cool that he's willing to come out and say that, because I think he knows that Triple H is not going to take that and say, all right, okay, pal, now I'm going to bury you. You know, like whereas some others might have shied away from saying some of those things or being a little more open and honest, because he probably respects Triple H at the end of the day. It's like, you know what, I can say these things and Triple H is going to understand it. Yeah. And also maybe be like, yeah, you know what, I can get that. Let's sit down, let's figure some things out. Or no, this is what's best for business, and I'm confident in that decision, and Sammy also knows that and can take a step back. Whereas with Vince, I don't know that we would see that same transparency and honesty from any superstar. No. Any performer.
Not unless you're like Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar or like a guy that...
in the 90s. Exactly. Yeah, like it's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm.
I also wonder maybe I'm overthinking this, but is Sammy trying to like work some people, and he's putting this out there so that way when it does eventually happen, it'll be a bigger surprise to people. Be like, oh shit, Triple H did want to actually make him champion.
Everything is pro wrestling.
Right? Exactly.
Maybe it's Triple H's idea. Like, right? Who knows? Who knows? It wouldn't surprise me.
Don't work yourself into a shoot.
Yes.
All right. Do not work yourself into a damn shoot. That is advice for anybody. I gotta pull up. That's one of my favorite tweets of all time.
Evergreen.
It's an evergreen tweet. Hulk Hogan. Don't work yourself into a shoot.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, are we going to talk his 700 Club interview at all? Did any of you guys
I didn't even see that.
I didn't watch it, but I heard some clips via Cornette, and this fucking guy is absolutely nuts.
On my dad's birthday in October. Hold on, Flanny, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
October 16, 2011, one of the greatest tweets to ever bless the app happened. Good night, Hulkamaniacs and jabroni marks without a life that don't know it'll work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot, Marks. That's one of the greatest tweets of all time.
Did he tag it with HH?
He didn't actually.
Oh, really?
So we don't even know if it was actually him.
That probably wasn't him then.
God.
Shit. If it's not tagged with HH, it's not Hulk Hogan.
You know it was 2011.
That was Nick Hogan's burner from jail.
That's right.
Jesus.
He tweeted it from the app Echophone.
Oh,
If you remember that. That's going
how
back.
You know it's like early 2010s.
Wow.
Me and Flannabam used to sit next to each other in the CCRI computer lab and just tweet. Just at each other.
That's true. We would have a Twitter conversation and not actually talk to each other.
The good old days.
Those were the good old days.
We were the early form of people texting in the same room.
Just basically, don't work yourself into a shoot, Marks.
Right. It's probably the best thing Hogan's ever been on record as saying.
Oh yeah,
well, definitely not the worst.
Well, it might be the best thing he's ever been.
It's definitely not the worst.
It might be the best thing he's ever been, like truthfully on record saying.
True. That is true.
Because I do love him claiming he was supposed to be the bassist of Metallica, and Lars Ulrich, the drummer of Metallica, being like, "I've never met Hulk Hogan. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about."
Yeah, but the Hogan working himself into a shoot stories are just pure entertainment.
Oh, they're the best.
Like you don't even know what to believe from that guy.
None of it. Don't believe any of it.
There was lust in his eye.
Literally, everybody else will be like, "No, that didn't happen."
Yeah,
that's not how it worked.
Insane. Yeah, so this is quickly, because I didn't watch it, so I can't speculate on much, but apparently he did a 700 Club interview. We're all familiar with what the 700 Club is. We probably spent a couple nights where we were up too late and flipped over to the 700 Club, or
that's
up
where you
too
knew,
early.
like, oh shit, I gotta go to bed.
700 Club. I was like, what am I doing up at these hours? Why is this guy talking to me about God? But apparently he did an interview, and apparently they have like the 700 Club as a sports network.
Oh,
built into it, which again, crazy.
It's great.
So they interviewed him at Hogan's Beef Shop, of course, and he had on a John 316 shirt, of course. Brian Austin 316, but
recently
also
baptized.
they mentioned in the back, like it was NWO stuff everywhere, so like completely contradictory to whatever he's preaching. Apparently he told the story about Roddy Piper, who he notoriously was never friends with, never cool with while we were in the business, etc. But he mentioned after they were both out of the business, they kind of rekindled, got cool. Hogan helped him find God or pushed him to find God, whatever, cool. And apparently he said that 2 days after Roddy Piper died, he received a voicemail from Roddy Piper saying basically like, hey brother, hope everything's going well, you know, I'm just hanging out with the Lord, you know, I found, like, very cryptic, like, and he's like, yeah, like, I can't believe he sent me this voicemail, you know, 2 days after he was dead, you know, and I could just hear in his voice that he was with God and all this, and Hogan seemed convinced that that voicemail came from heaven,
right? Yeah,
2 days after he was gone. Not that
they got cell service up there.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And it's 2 days delayed.
They got 5G up there.
So like he's telling the story, and it's just like, I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah.
And of course, the Cornette's like, maybe he sent him that voicemail the day or the day before he died, and somehow it took 2 or 3 days to get to him, but all this shit. And like they played voicemail, and it does sound like Roddy Piper, but he's convinced that Roddy Piper called and left him a voicemail from heaven. And I'm like, only Hogan would believe that.
Right.
And find a way to like make it about him.
Oh yeah.
He can't even do the job for Roddy
No,
Piper.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's
He can't.
dead. Do the job.
Come on, brother.
Like, do the fucking job. Like,
Here's my thing. I don't doubt that he probably has a voicemail
Yeah,
from Roddy
no.
Piper. But
I believe it.
It probably came while he was still
Yes.
alive.
Yeah.
Like, he probably didn't
Hogan.
get that 2 days after he died.
It's
Hogan.
like,
My neighbor across the street literally just called me before we started the show, and he said he called me yesterday and left, and he couldn't leave me a voicemail because my voicemail box was full. I think when you start to delete things, the messages start to come in. Maybe that's what happened. It was like a cloud
But,
backup
like, you
or some
can't,
shit.
you
No
can't
pun
even leave a
intended.
message though.
yeah,
Oh, that's a good point. So I don't know. Hogan, maybe he was on bath salts. He lives in
don't know.
Florida.
I mean,
so.
that- I think he's just was on.
Maybe he got
Hogan.
into his son's stash. I don't know.
I think Hogan is just believes all his own shit now.
That's
They
what
got
it is.
anytime minutes up in heaven,
So
man.
far gone. Yeah, it must have been after 9 on a
He's got-
Friday.
yeah.
That's
Free
what he
roaming.
called. I don't know.
free
But
calls and
I
texts
am
after
very
9.
intrigued. I do want to maybe like have a couple drinks and go watch that full interview. I think it would be amazing
Oh, yeah.
entertainment.
I might
on,
have
like
to
a
try
Friday night. I think that could
Track
be
this
good.
down now.
We might have to. We should do a watch along on the pod.
He's not even doing the job for God.
I
No.
know. What is he, Vince McMahon?
Yes, exactly. Bringing that back.
It's not gonna work for me, brother.
Yeah, Hogan interviews are interesting. His interview with Theo Von was I thought was pretty good.
He has an interview.
Yeah.
With Theo. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I absolutely have to have a couple drinks. And
It
watch
was
that.
from maybe 3 months ago.
I love that dude. He's
It was
fucking
actually
hilarious.
pretty good. There was
He's
a couple
hilarious.
of times where Theo's like humor,
Yeah,
and like
it's just the dry
Hogan-
humor. I'm sure Hogan didn't pick up on every fourth joke. That
A
Theo
couple
had.
of times he definitely didn't pick up on it, and he was like, "No, brother," or something like that. And Theo's, because Theo's just Theo,
He
Uh,
doesn't break for anything. I
does-
love it. He's
doesn't
so
break
good.
for
He's
anything.
So fucking good.
But yeah, Hogan. I've been to the beach shop. It's an interesting
Yeah, I've
place. I
been
mean,
here.
if you're a Hogan, fan, whatever.
It
Which
just has most of
Yeah,
his
I think for the
memorabilia.
Yeah, it's a
majority
cool
of
thing
our
to go.
lives, we were,
And
even
it's also
now.
a beautiful area, like Clearwater Beach. That whole area is beautiful.
I was the one in Orlando.
Anyway.
He has one.
Okay.
He has one in
I've been
Orlando
to
too.
one on Clearwater. And this was like years and years ago, but like no, it's a cool little thing to go and check
Yeah.
out. Like even if you're
It's
not
like-
a fan of Hulk Hogan, the man or character, whatever, it's something cool to see.
Yeah, I've never been, but it comes across to me as like a pro wrestling version of the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Like
but
you
it's just
gotta
all
see-
Hogan shit.
Right. Yeah,
Hogan
obviously.
It's like the
NWO,
fucking.
that's it.
It's like the WCW Nitro Grill. Is that what it was? The WCW bar. I remember
Yeah.
there was one of those. I remember fucking.
But there was
similar.
WWE World,
WWF New York.
Yes.
WWF
Yes.
New York.
Yeah, that was.
I think that right started as WWF New York, and I think when they switched to WWE, they called it WWE World.
Yeah, which is
And
now
then-
what they call their convention, the Weekend of Mania.
Yeah.
And then they closed it down years
And
ago.
I do think I know we talked briefly. I mentioned something about like WWE treasures off air. So they're absolutely building now that they have the new WWE headquarters. They're absolutely building a full like interactive year-round thing for folks to come and make it a destination to see. They have to be.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be doing something in Saudi Arabia, I thought.
Yeah, the one in
advertised
Saudi
it.
Arabia is open, but
Oh, is it?
And also, it's like, well, fuck you guys. We're going to Saudi Arabia.
I'm
before
not-
we
I'm
come
not-
to America.
I'm never listen. I
Like,
want this on
yeah.
record. I am
No,
never
no.
going to Saudi Arabia. No disrespect
No,
to
unless you fly me out.
Well, I have
Well,
some plane
well-
tickets to return.
Well,
this is
yeah,
awkward,
well,
this is
okay,
awkward
hold on.
now.
Only if Flanabam is buying my
That was
ticket.
a wedding
boy.
gift? Fuck. Okay, we'll go. No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm
They're
like,
totally
yeah.
gonna love your wife in Saudi
Yes,
Arabia.
yes, she's
Yeah.
not allowed, but you got to stay here and be fully covered up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like you go to jail, and I know why you did it because that check was insane.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I know why you did it. But yeah, like you should have did the one here first. Like, please, if you're
Yeah.
gonna go into the homes of these collectors and like completely break them down and get all this shit for almost free to put in your collection for us to see, which I get it. Like, at least set that up first, please, so we can go.
Although-
especially for us, we're only fucking what, an hour and a half away.
The one they're gonna do here, I don't know where they were gonna put it. Maybe with the new headquarters.
Yeah.
I thought I read somewhere they're trying to do like an actual physical Hall of Fame.
yeah,
So that could be what the memorabilia
because they
is going
have
to.
like the
But
warehouse
that's-
where everything is stored, but like
I would-
make it open to the public.
I would consider that different to the Saudi Arabia thing because you'll have like the actual inductees of the Hall of Fame, like you do if you go to the Football Hall of Fame
Right.
or
Yep.
basketball, rock and roll, pick whichever Hall of Fame you go to. They have like the actual Hall of Fame inductees where they won't have that in Saudi Arabia. It'll
Yep.
just be like memorabilia type stuff.
Yeah, certainly not any of the women. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%. Like
hell no.
that needs to be the thing for the company this big, especially lately, that's doing so many big things. That has to be like at the top of their list
Yeah.
to check off. It has to be like it's an insane moneymaker. Imagine the folks who will come from all over the world to go to, and of course, not Titan Towers anymore. It's not the big glass building, but it looks like it's a whole campus now.
Yeah.
And it's giving like ESPN vibes.
Yeah.
So like it's going to be a destination for a lot of folks.
But think about that's essentially what people do WrestleMania weekend. Obviously, you have WrestleMania; that's the main draw. But like WWE World does. I mean, we think about the line.
Yeah,
we
it's
couldn't
insane.
even
Yep.
freaking get in.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
I had to sneak in.
Flanny literally snuck in. This guy
sneak in under a curtain to get in there.
This dude pulled some Houdini magic because we were like waiting in line. And he's like, "Hold on, let me go check some real quick." Next thing you know, he's just gone. I look back. It's a wide, like literally the most massive convention center I've ever been in. You know, filled with shit. But where we were, it was open. Yeah. I'm like, where the hell did this dude go? Yeah. And
I get a phone call like, where you at? I'm like, I'm in line. I'll be out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're like, what?
Like, yeah, snuck through a curtain. Had to go get this hoodie. Had to get out of here.
But hey, you made it happen.
Made it work.
I respect the hell out of it.
I'm just gonna say, based on this description right here, you totally pooped in public, dude. You totally pooped in public.
Very sneaky.
Like, it's cool to admit it, but like, I can't. There's no way I'll believe anything else now.
Very sneaky. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, big match announced. King and Queen of the Ring, Cody versus Logan Paul.
I'm excited, guys.
Fought Roman for the belt in Saudi before, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So clearly shows how much either Saudi loves Logan or WWE trusts. Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think both.
Probably mostly the former.
Right. So what do we think about these rumors about them merging the titles? Like about it becoming like basically getting rid of the US title as a whole.
I don't love that.
I didn't see that, but that was
this would be Cody's way of merging the two titles and getting rid of the US title. Essentially.
I don't love that only because the titles don't change brands. Like if you're a champion, you're on your show, and there would be no mid-card title for SmackDown.
What if they introduced a new title?
But why? Like the US title has so much
South American. No, I'm just kidding.
Like lineage to it. Like, I mean, if you want to redesign the US title based off of this, I'm all for it.
This is all fan fiction shit.
No, I know.
Bring back.
This is all fan fiction stuff. But people were saying like, what about a TV title or a branded title like a TKO title or something like that?
I would hate that.
I know I do, but I'm just saying.
No,
like,
I know, right? It's possible.
I'm a sucker for like TV titles, especially like WCW TV title. Like I loved it. I thought it was cool. So like that would be awesome. But I didn't like. Does that go over well? Also, like I think of AEW's got what TBS and TNT. Would WWE go to like would WWE
the Netflix
kind of follow suit and go with the Netflix title or like the I don't know. I wonder if
this would be on SmackDown.
It might be the Prime title.
Oh, like that, I mean, totally is something they're gonna do.
They would. I can see it. I can totally fucking see it. The front plate, just the shape of the Prime sideways.
Oh god.
Maybe that's terrible. What they do. They merge titles and then now fucking Logan somehow.
Or what if this goes the other way? What if Logan wins and he now calls the WWE Undisputed Championship the WWE Prime Championship?
Yeah. He gets his own like spinner, but it's just a fucking Prime bottle. Yeah. That would be something.
I can see it.
I mean, listen, Cody's been teasing a new belt since before he was champion. No, since the day he became champion.
No, since even before.
Even before. He talked about how he wanted to whatever. So if they're gonna do it and it makes sense. Would it do it on a King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia show before Logan Paul is going to be, SummerSlam in Cleveland? This is all fan fiction, probably not.
Right.
But if we're going to put our fucking tinfoil hats on real quick, I think this would be a cool way to merge the titles and make it some super whatever and add that nostalgic factor to it.
So there's one of two ways this could go. They could merge the title and this be how they debut that. I don't know if it was an actual like Cody had it made or if it was just like a fan thing where it was the Winged Eagle title but it had like Cody's neck tattoo on it.
Oh, that's sick.
So like it's the American, so it's got a bunch of American flags, aka US titles on the Winged Eagle. So it'd be like that's how you could debut that title. It all makes sense.
US Nightmare Champion.
And look at the tag titles that are on SmackDown.
Yeah.
They look a little bit more like the titles we used to have.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Or another thing is apparently based on the people who have way more free time than I do, which is saying something. King and Queen of the Ring is weirdly where the new Wyatt 6 might be debuting.
Yeah.
So it could be you make this match for both titles, they debut, it's a no contest, and both people walk away still their own respective champions.
Yeah, I think it would be weird. Like you said, timing wise, I think it would be weird to take the belt off of Logan before Cleveland unless they're giving him something bigger and better.
Right.
I had he not say Logan wasn't the US champ and somebody else was, say it was like Ricochet or something random, and they went to Jeddah, I could see them doing something like that because clearly they love Saudi Arabia. They're so invested. Clearly Saudi Arabia is so invested in them. Money talks. We've seen them put some of the biggest matches we've wanted to see, not that they've turned out well, on those cards. So I wouldn't be surprised that they were like, fuck it, we're going to kind of switch things up than we typically do for Jeddah and for Saudi Arabia. But because it's Logan, because we're going to SummerSlam in Cleveland, because some of the other variables, it would be a little weird for me.
Right. Well, you don't think Goldberg and Undertaker knocked it out of the park and started? You don't think two people almost murdering each other?
That was so fucking bad.
Was a great
example. Listen, we also got didn't we get the tag match there too?
Yeah,
it wasn't
and
the same
Taker
event,
and
though.
No, it wasn't. But
the same event where the tag match.
Guys, listen, go back to the beginning of the show. Been up a long time. Okay, I got the Latino Heat shirt on. Like, fuck with me, man. Come on.
Yeah. Nothing has gone.
Speaking of Uncle Howdy, though, just while we've been recording
the Twitch thing, I watched a little bit of it before I came here.
I don't have the audio up.
Is it still happening?
No, it's done now. But he took over the Twitch account.
Oh.
And it's just a cryptic video of like an armchair.
And then a therapist who's supposed to be the therapist from the commercial with the
who was
Fiend.
in the commercial who was the
So
I fell down a little rabbit hole the other day of all the different things and the smiley faces, Joe Gacy,
and
obviously some of the other things and how that happened. Yeah,
the missing woman's supposed to be the therapist.
Yep.
Because then all of a sudden there's like a newspaper article about a local missing woman and she was last seen at her therapy office or something like that.
She was a therapist for the Fiend.
Right. Played by ex-NFL Network person Rachel Bonetta.
Nice.
I don't know if she did it in the Twitch thing, but she did it on the commercial with the Fiend.
She looks like Kat Timpf in this picture, at least. I love this stuff. I love
good stuff,
that's awesome. That's like deep rooted, and it appears that this is going to be happening at King of the Ring. A lot of people are really King and Queen of the Ring, rather. I should say.
It's gonna be interesting to see because I think a lot of us think Alexa Bliss.
See, I don't know.
Do we know? Or maybe not.
So the rumored ones I had read were Nikki Cross.
That makes so much sense.
Dexter Loomis.
Yep.
Joe Gacy. Uncle Howdy, obviously, and Eric Rowan. And then because we just Wyatt is the sixth. So like it would be the five of them, and then Wyatt, in honor.
Yeah, that makes sense to leave the space.
So it'll be the Wyatt six.
That'd be cool. Nikki Cross would be awesome.
Yeah,
honestly, and I would honestly probably prefer her. I don't know if Alexa's status, if she's healthy or she's back. If she comes back, I mean, I love Alexa Bliss. I am a huge fan. I think you can throw her right back in the mix and she can fucking work her way up to the top of the card, main event status again. So that can be cool. But yeah, I'm excited to just see it debut and where it's going to go.
Same.
Like where the feuds are going to be, how they position Uncle Howdy and what that's going to look like. There's so many cool things they can do. Obviously, we have guys like Braun Strowman and others who you could pull in or tease or do different things with if you wanted to. But the thing is, it's been building for so long that I think they have to knock it out of the park from day one, or else obviously a lot of folks are going to feel away.
No more Mountain Dew pitch black matches.
No,
don't give me that shit.
No. Don't. We can't be having that shit anymore. You built it up so much. You're honoring a legend,
and you're building it up again. Like this is this is second chance.
So
don't fucking fuck this up again.
Yeah. So be interesting if that's the direction that they go in. Some housekeeping stuff from the week. The Drew opening Raw was great. I mean, he's just like this lover scorned and just angry at the world. And I shout out to Damien Priest. Yeah. Damien Priest, I thought, went out there and held his own. That sounded a little unscripted.
Yes.
Like it sounded a little off the cuff, no?
The part where McIntyre was like, say what if you think he's an undeserving champ or whatever, you can tell it was off the cuff, and then Damien be like, well, I'm the champion. You can see Drew crack a smile as if, oh shit, I didn't think you were going to have a one-liner ready for that. So yeah, it was nice to see them. And again, we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, where they can, I think more than ever, they're like, yo, we trust you guys. We're not giving you anything other than a couple, but like, just make sure you hit this, this, and this, and go have fun. And you can see it come through. And I think for guys like Damien, I think some of the folks who, not a knock on Priest, I think we're all fans of his, but he needed a little work on the mic. He needed to build his way up naturally, understandably.
He's been held up basically his whole career. I mean, he had the Bad Bunny connection there, and his NXT run. You kind of I don't remember talking much.
He didn't really talk at all.
And then he had
was
the
also like
Day.
weird, cool guy who like hung out in hot tubs with women and stuff.
Right. I remember that in the back of like a truck when he won the belt. He jumped in the hot tub. So it was cool. I think sometimes with those folks who like. Don't make it more structured and more regiment. Just let them flow and do them. When you give them so many cues and so many things to remember, they're going to stumble more so than if you say, hey, we just want you to hit this and this and go have fun. Like I think just like anybody who's not a natural speaker, like the more comfortable you make them and allow them to be themselves, they're going to go out there and deliver. I think you're seeing that happen a lot more with folks who, quote unquote, aren't great on the mic or haven't been naturally. And then also naturally pair them up with someone like Drew, a CM Punk, a Seth Rollins, a Cody Rhodes who can hold their own. It's going to work.
Yeah, definitely. And that, I thought they had a nice little back and forth there. Drew made a very good point of like CM Punk, you guys chant his name, he ain't coming to this city. He only goes to the big cities.
I thought that
was a nice shot at him. It's kind of true. If you think about it, it is a little bit true.
It was a nice way for him to say a factual statement, but also still be a heel.
Yep.
Yes.
Be like, yeah, your city sucks. That's why CM Punk's not coming here.
Yeah, it hit all the bases.
Damien Priest brought up a lot of just great points about like Drew. Like, dude, it was you, man. Like, you're the reason why you're not champion right now. You're telling me that I couldn't face you 1-on-1. Well, you had it. I tried to cash in on Seth Rollins multiple times, and you stopped me from doing it. This is all your fault. So don't go by here blaming everybody else. You can call me whatever you want. I am the champion, and it's because of your dumbass.
Yep.
And I love that. That was awesome. I thought that was really good by Priest there. I was happy for him.
It's been really, really good, and I love to see, especially with Priest now. You know, I know you guys talked a little bit about it last week. I think we know the split is coming.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, and I think this is good to just continue to build him to where I think we're confident he can stand on his own to do his own thing. Obviously, they wouldn't have given him the belt if they didn't think that. Even if it is going to be in some sort of transitional phase, like we might think, like he's beyond ready for it. I think that's going to be so cool when that happens, and I'm just excited to continue to see him grow and just get opportunities.
Yeah, I'm starting. So I think we've all been thinking for a while that Drew's going to win the title at Clash at the Castle in Scotland, but I'm now starting to wonder if like is Punk going to show up and cost him the title, and they're going to let Damien have a longer run with it
a little bit, and then continue to build. I can see it. I can understand it.
I can definitely see
the way the pop would be for Drew to win would be a very similar pop for CM Punk to come out and screw him.
But
I don't know if it would. I think if anything, it would turn, at least in Scotland,
it would turn Punk
heel.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
100%. But it would still be like the pop would be like, oh shit, like we were gonna cheer for him to win, and now it's just like, yo, fuck you, Punk. And now, do they want to do that? I don't think we think they want to turn Punk heel. But also, Punk is that heel where you can do shit like that with him, and he can still find a way to spin it and turn it and make it fun and get people back on his side because he's fucking CM Punk, and that's just what he does.
Plus, it'll be fine. Drew McIntyre will sing Oasis at the end of the show again, and it'll be perfectly fine. We'll do Don't Look Back in Anger again, and we'll all sing along and love it.
Drew, also, kudos to Drew's jacket on Monday. That jacket was fucking
jacket was
leather with this with the Celtic War, Scottish War. Yeah, shit was dope.
Jacket was fire.
And one other just quick Judgment Day thing I want to mention that was one of the more hilarious things from last week is Carlito backstabber on the table. It was so funny because, and I remember seeing tweets and people like, why would you do a backstabber on the table?
Right.
Like, you are not hurting anybody but yourself.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because like, he's so eager to join the Judgment Day, and I'm just like, it was so fucking funny. That was it.
The Carlito Judgment Day shit is just so random.
So weird.
It's so weird. But I mean, shout out to Carlito. It's just funny still having him on TV in like a pretty decent role, I guess.
And he looks great.
He looks great.
Phenomenal.
He looks great, but I'm curious. They planted that Chekhov's gun there, where it's like, Carlito's like, I'm gonna prove it to you.
Yeah, I'm also. It's weird that they've like so far just completely abandoned the Carlito LWO stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yep.
Now all of a sudden he's just like,
they're both on the same brand, so it's like you could kind of keep that going, and they're just like,
no,
we'll come back to it later.
Maybe he's recruiting
maybe
Judgment Day to help him against them,
right?
You know?
But he hasn't said that yet.
Yeah.
Like sprinkle it in a bit. Is all I'm
he's
saying.
Carlito, man. You know, she's got some shit up his sleeve.
And the way things are going, shit, he could be the fucking leader of the Judgment Day in a month.
I know.
That's
like the way things are going, like he could slide right into Damien's spot. Who knows? Like,
what does a Carlito-led Judgment Day look like?
I don't know. That's weird. Does Finn grow his hair out? Imagine he made JD Finn all them grow their hair out.
Do they come out Los Barriquas style?
Oh God, please.
Does JD McDonough's head shrink at all?
Oh my God.
No, if anything, it would grow.
It would get
That's a
bigger
good point,
and bigger.
yeah.
I also love every week that they just fucking Michael Cole making the comments about it. It's just so fucking good every week.
Cole's unhinged right now in the best way.
So
in the
what was the
best
McAfee
way.
shit? What did he say that he got him in trouble? Supposedly, I seen all these.
I didn't see that.
Tweets and reports about McAfee said something on Monday that was too far, and they had to talk to him about it. But I didn't see it. I didn't see what the actual tweet was. I just sourced a couple people mention it, but I'm like, what did he say? What did he do? Because I feel like that motherfucker can say anything.
For real,
And he pretty much has.
Unless like he dropped an F-bomb. I don't
know.
No,
Maybe it was just hyperbole and people taking it and running with it or clickbait. But I saw a few different folks say that, and I was like, what could he have said?
I didn't see. I personally didn't see that. If that happened, I missed it.
Same.
But there's definitely he toes the line. He toes the line for sure. Oh, Damien Priest did say asshole in the first 10 minutes of the show,
and they did not bleep it out.
And they didn't bleep it out.
Bleeped it out on the YouTube.
Oh, did they?
I went back and was watching highlights.
They didn't bleep it on live TV.
Saw that was one thing I went back and saw that whole segment live, but they bleeped it out. He was like,
that's funny.
Asshole. I was like, oh shit, they bleeped that.
Yeah, no, they didn't bleep it on live TV. Which asshole is one of those weird words. You can say ass and hole separately, but you put them together. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, you have to bleep one of them out. If you're gonna bleep out, if you're gonna put it together, you have to bleep out either ass or hole.
You can say on the radio, a colleague of ours, Nick, likes to tell me you can say like, I don't know which order it is, but you can either say poop and shit, or you can't say shit and poop.
I don't think you can say that.
So you can say
this guy's what he's been telling us.
Never say anus.
This has been telling. No, you can't say.
Can't say anus.
Well, technically you can't.
Is that a technical term?
Technically you can because it's a medical term.
But you have to use it in a medical situation.
You can't just be like, eat my anus.
Right, yeah.
Oh, God.
But I had my anus probed.
Yeah.
Probably flies.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I had a colonoscopy.
That's what I'm saying. We're getting older. We can check your prostate.
It's the same way why in context you can say dick, but you also can't say dick. Like if it's somebody's name, you can be like, oh, hey, Dick. Like you can say Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
But you can't be like, suck my dick.
We can say, but we were told to say.
Suck my dick, Cheney.
We were told to
could
call
maybe say
it
that.
the TV show Schitt's Creek.
Yes, you can say that. Or if you spell it out.
Oh my God.
We can't really spell it out on the radio.
No,
but
but if you say it and then spell it, I think if you do it,
interesting. I was watching Abbott Elementary the other day. Shout out to Abbott Elementary, great show. I love it. And they said the main character said pussyfooting. And even that was like, oh shit.
Yeah, pussyfooting.
And purposely was like pussyfooting. Like just the slightest of pause to make sure the audience picked it up, but also to be okay. And even that, I was like, oh shit. Like, I think you can say that now. Like it's so much different than it used to be.
Oh, way different. You know, think about McAfee. I mean, they swear up a storm on ESPN every day.
Yeah, they go nuts.
They do still up until like a certain point bleep the F-bomb.
Yes, yep.
There's
a certain point, and
that's like the one word that still will never be allowed on TV.
Right. Which is just ridiculous.
I agree.
With the internet age, you can do and say whatever you want.
Who gives a fuck if you say it?
You can find swears and boobs anywhere you look.
Absolutely.
Right
here.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. People are mad at Jey Uso. I don't really...
The Firefly tweet. Is that why?
No, not the Firefly tweet about him beating Ilya. People are mad at it.
So I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of people just ever since the Mania match now like criticize Jey that he's not actually a good wrestler.
Well, people are saying
like,
that
we're doing that, folks. We're doing that.
Like,
people are doing that he only has 3 moves thing.
Right.
People are saying that he shouldn't have fought Ilya if Ilya was gonna lose because that ruins his push. It's like
main event Jey Uso. He just fought for the belt a fucking week ago. He had I think 11,000 from what you guys said last week. Flashlights going at the same fucking time. The place was rocking. I don't give a fuck if you got one move. When you have it, I'm gonna use Goldberg as an example. We all know what Goldberg could and couldn't do in the ring. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Did it fucking matter? No. Because people showed up and they fucking packed out the Georgia Dome to see him win the belt.
Exactly.
Nobody gave a fuck how many moves he had. No. When you can put asses in seats, it doesn't... I sound like Vince McMahon right now. It doesn't fucking matter what you can or can't do. And Jey is that fucking guy. Like, how can you do that?
Absolutely.
Not to mention, we know they went on record as saying the reason why that match wasn't as good as it was is because they got their time cut.
Right.
So, like, that's what you're going to hold on to?
But
like,
people
get
don't
the fuck...
care.
And I love Ilya, and we know he's going to go to the moon. But, like, come on, just lost the main event Jey Uso, who was in the main event for the title a week prior, and that's what we're holding on to.
Right.
Come on.
So I think, and this is again speculation on my part, I think a lot of people wanted to see Ilya versus Gunther. I obviously also very much want to see that match
for the belt.
That's the thing.
Like,
give me an actual pay-per-view match. Don't just give it to me on a Raw next week. Like, give me that as like a proper.
I know. Like, if that was the King of the Ring final.
Yes.
But like,
absolutely.
No. Yeah. No.
Yeah, but people become short-sighted and they think
people
that
just like to complain.
Yeah, I mean, look what they're doing with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. Why can't you do the same with Ilya on Raw? But it's like, well, because of the way that things fall.
Yeah.
Right now, Jey Uso is higher on the ladder.
And also, no slice to Ilya. We love Ilya, but Carmelo is probably a little higher on that totem pole right now. Like,
as far as like star power goes, I think so. Yeah,
like he was, he had his runs and it's more of a timing thing, just because Ilya, I know they got up to the main card around the same time, but we know Carmelo was destined for that, and that had already won his multiple titles before Ilya did. Like, Ilya's time is coming. We all know that. There's no question of that. It's not a slight to him.
No, he's
it's just giving the props to Carmelo that he deserves. Like.
Yeah.
They're both, I'm fully convinced, title holders within the next few years. They will be world champions, both of them.
I think by this time next year, both of them have at least held a mid-card title.
Yeah, 100%.
I just don't want to, do this whole thing where, with Jey Uso, it's all of a sudden now we're critiquing every match he has.
History,
it's like, come on, man. The dude he's over like crazy right now.
Crazy.
You know, and they used to say the same thing about Roman, except the difference with him and Roman is Roman wasn't nearly as over as Jey Uso is right now.
No.
Not in 2015 and 2016.
Absolutely not.
And they basically got similar movesets. And you got to keep in mind that Jey Uso was a tag team fighter for the majority of his career. So you got to give these dudes time. But the fact that he already has everything else, the matches will come with it. And I don't even think his matches are that bad.
No, they're good matches. And like, here's another thing: how many genuine classic, like 5-star classic matches has The Rock had?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But who's a more popular wrestler maybe ever than The Rock?
Talk about revisionist history
Exactly.
and 5 moves. I mean, The Rock basically in Stone Cold. I mean, Stone Cold wasn't doing he was a striker. The dude
certainly
did a
not Stone Cold Steve, but before like Stunning Steve and some of these other.
Yeah, when he was popular, he was punching and kicking you and then hit you with the stunner.
And that proves the point of you don't need to have 100 moves if you're fucking that guy and you have it. And Jey Uso has it. There's no question. And that's why I thought you were going to mention the tweet, because I can totally understand some folks who are huge Bray Wyatt fans, obviously with Bray passing, taking that, being like, damn, that's a slight, that's a shot, that's a jab. I don't think it was any of that.
No.
I think it was him being like, nah, I'm going to talk my shit and I'm going to pop my chest out, because I just had fucking 11,000 people going absolutely insane and showing us a scene that we've maybe never seen, but certainly haven't seen in a very long time. Like, that's what he's supposed to do.
Right. I'm also pretty sure him and Bray were like, friends.
Yeah,
so I think it was more a respect thing.
And also
it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Eater of Worlds is pretty funny.
Yeah. But also, how can you control a reaction that a crowd did for you?
Well, WWE's going to try, apparently. Did you see that they're going to try to like force American crowds to do the flashlight thing? Like, they're going to start dimming the lights during his entrance in hopes that people put
I think that's fine. Like, that's fine. Part of their business is entertainment. Like, that's if you're in the crowd, I think that plays it. That's like why do NBA playoff teams give away T-shirts to everybody in the crowd?
Right.
Crowd participation is part of it.
Every PC home game, literally before they announce the starting 5, one of their sponsors is Rossi Electric, and they say, "Hey, everybody, get your phone out. We're gonna light up the app," and they do it on cue. And I guess it's a little different. I think now after Lyon, especially, and I know you guys talked about it last week, where fucking the US, we need to step our shit up.
Our shit up,
but
man.
I think folks are gonna, certainly in certain cities where they go, they're gonna step that shit up, and they're gonna do it organically anyway. And I think that's where like you want it to be organic, but also like. Yeah, I mean, they're going to lean into it if they need to.
I don't want the flashlights for Jey Uso to become Judas for Chris Jericho, where like AEW basically was trying to force crowds to sing along. Yeah. And it got old quick. I don't want that to happen with this. I want it to be an organic thing.
If you get Samantha Irvin out there before, and during a TV timeout saying, "Hey, Jey Uso's about to come to the ring, get your flashlights out," that's fucking corny. I get that. But like, I think that if it just becomes, if they dim the lights, right? That's fine, because that's saying it without having to say it.
Right. You can attribute that to the entrance and everything.
They did that with Bray Wyatt with the Fireflies. I mean, that's kind of that started as something, and then they made it a thing where they were like, "Hey, dim the lights. Fireflies come out. Here comes Bray."
Like even Taker, when we were kids, like those lights went out. And one, it was part to scare the shit out of us when we were kids, but also it's because people were gonna light the place up on their own or do their own thing. Or now it's every like. That's wrestling. Like that is pro wrestling. It's
that's what I want brought back.
It's pro wrestling.
I want people to do the Jey Uso yeet with actual lighters. Let's bring back the lighter.
Somebody will get set on fire.
The insurance.
Well, people are stupid, so sometimes some people might deserve that.
No, but also I will teach the class if I need to. We need a yeet tutorial. Not enough motherfuckers in the world who know how to yeet properly.
Yeah. God, no.
People are too stiff, too loosey-goosey. You got to be able to hit the yeet the right way. I don't know that enough wrestling fans know how to fucking yeet properly.
That's my other thing, though.
They don't know how to yeet properly.
If you don't have rhythm, that's fine. I don't have rhythm. I'm not going to go yeet at a show because I know I'll fuck it up.
No, there's too many, like you see it, and I think I give the crowd in Leon some credit, but like there's too many people. You're too stiff on the yeet, too loose on the yeet. Like we need a tutorial, Jay. Like if we're gonna get we're gonna get that, give us a tutorial. If WWE want to lead into it, give us a yeet tutorial, because not enough people know how to fucking yeet properly.
I think they need a security guard in the crowd that when somebody's messing up, they just go up to him and be like, "No, not you, man.
Get the fuck out. Sit it down.
This isn't for you. Let the other people do it. This isn't your thing."
It was.
They need like the family guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The color's right. And it's like you got to be in this line to be able to eat properly.
I don't know if he still does it, but when I saw Lil Wayne, my God, 15 plus years ago, he used to do a move. I forgot what he called it, and he used to tell you like, "All right, one hand up on one side, the other hand up, and now, and he'd have everybody kind of. It was similar to the yeet, honestly, very similar to the yeet. But maybe that's what Jay needs to do. It's kind of like the cha-cha slide. You gotta. Can we close those blinds? I'm getting. It's like, yeah, maybe turn. Yeah, boom, there it is. I had that one line of sun ray right into my eyeball.
Here's my thing, though. When you bring up the cha-cha slide, how many, and I'm pointing myself very much out on this, how many white people are shit at that at weddings?
Yeah, a lot of
Hand
white
goes
people.
way up. I fucking suck at it.
I DJ weddings, and they're like, the cha-cha slide is nothing compared to when white people try to do the Cupid shuffle.
Oh,
That
yes.
is.
That is a whole
But
different
it's
ballgame.
funny, and you know this, like, and I grew up going to so many fucking, you know, half of my family is white, the family I spend the most time around, so we went to so many parties at the Filibuster Club, with the Madeira, all these things, we're playing fucking the electric slide.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, the dance moves for the electric slide are not much different, folks, but they hear electric slide, they're like, nah, I know how to do this, they hear Cupid Shuffle, and then like, oh, I don't know how to do this. It's like, it's the same movement.
It's the same
What
shit,
are we
man.
doing here?
Just put a little bit of rhythm in it.
It's like one thing if I had you out there wobbling. That's a little different.
Oh, yeah, the
That's a
wobble.
little different. You need a little bit more rhythm for that. You gotta be side to. You need side to side agility. But like Cupid Shuffle, electric slide, not much different, folks.
They tell you
really
what to
not.
do.
Some of us are just rhythmless.
And also, listen to the words.
Yeah, it
Listen to the
literally
words.
tells you what to do.
Sometimes it doesn't help.
It
Some of us
especially
are
if
just
you've had the
rhythmless,
right amount
and
of
it's
drinks.
it's okay to accept it.
And that's fine. Exactly.
You just have to
knowing
accept
is
that
half
you're
the battle.
Exactly. I've accepted it. I'm a rhythmless motherfucker. It's okay to accept it.
To put it into wrestling terms, some people just work stiff.
Yeah.
That's yes.
You know, they don't know how to move a damn muscle. Okay, I'm out there. You know, I like to let loose.
We
let
get
the
hips.
hips.
That's it. You got the Latino heat on for a
Yeah,
reason.
exactly.
It's all in here,
Latino
baby.
heat,
You gotta.
What is it? The Big Lebowski. Oh my God, what's the dude? The actor's name? The dude that played Betty Betty Sneaky from Mr. Deeds.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
John.
So good. Yeah, it is John.
Something like that. Spacey.
No. I think of Kevin Spacey.
No, not Kevin Spacey.
I
No,
almost said
not
John
Kevin
I
Spacey.
want to say
but it's
John
not.
Leguizamo, but it's not
it's not
John Leguizamo.
It is John though. He's so good in everything.
John Turturro.
John
John
Turturro.
Turturro.
There it is.
He's
There it
such
is.
a good fucking
Oh,
actor.
phenomenal.
Such an underrated
When he's
actor.
like cleaning his bowling ball and
Yeah.
shit, and Big
So
Lebowski,
good.
that's me. Just when I'm on the dance floor.
Him and Do the Right Thing. He's so good. in
Oh,
that
so
movie.
good.
God, he's so good in that.
However,
so fucking good in that.
when I get on the dance floor, am Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh,
I'm just all
God.
kicks and elbows.
Weird elbows
Yeah,
and
it's just
snapping
but
at the
also,
wrong
like,
it's
time.
bad.
if that's your thing and you lean into it, that's great.
Yeah.
Like there's the people who it's like you know your lane and you purposely want to get out of it. No, stay in your lane.
Stay
Just
in your,
stay in your
absolutely
lane.
stay in
I'm
your
not
lane.
going to judge you if you stay in your
Hell
lane.
no.
But I will judge you when you get out of your
Yes.
lane.
Yeah. I won't.
Also,
yeah.
when you stay in your
That's
lane,
fair.
less likely to have an accident.
100%.
I'm just throwing that out there.
100%.
I almost
and it's more
hydroplaned
enjoyable
today.
because you can take it even if you can just do just a little side to side. That's
Yeah.
all you need. It's just a little something. You don't need to fucking be out here breakdancing. You don't need to be doing fucking the whole Macarena. You don't need to know this whole Soldier Boy dance. Just do what you do.
If you don't know the
mock.
Macarena by now, forget about it.
I will say, man, I was in that resort on the honeymoon. Some folks did not know the Macarena.
Yeah, that's tough.
They didn't know.
That's
I
an
can
L.
believe that.
That's what we call it.
Here's the problem with that, though. Like, Macarena is very much a time period. So, like, if you're older than that,
that is
or
true.
sadly younger than that,
That is true.
you're not going to know the Macarena.
That's a valid point.
Similar to Austin's
Anybody
run. It
post
happened in a blur.
1997,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
I used to have the Macarena on cassette
I believe
in
that.
English and Spanish.
I didn't know they had an English version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had an English version. It was. I don't know if it was like Kids Bop or something, but they had that shit in English. I'm telling you. Shit was fire.
I'm not downing you. I just never knew that existed.
Yeah, I'm about to go find it somewhere at my grandfather's house. I guarantee he has it somewhere.
Carlito's new stable, their theme song should be the Macarena.
That would be funny.
The Mexican Judgment Day.
Yeah.
That would be kind of lit.
I feel like Finn probably has a really good
Is that
accent.
racist? Is what I just said racist?
Yeah.
Did I go too far?
No,
right.
I mean no. They're connecting
just
it to
saying,
their Latin roots.
Pro wrestling, man.
Yeah,
I don't
just-
know that that's
I'm just saying.
like...
That's fine. I mean, dude, that'd be like you telling me that mine should be like the fucking Portuguese national anthem or like Dança com Tudo or some shit. I don't care.
Great song. Definitely played at the wedding.
dude.
Speaking of racist,
This is now a sidetrack.
Speaking
I
of
expected to go
racist,
down, but all right.
and
What a
I-
transition.
And I want
Let's
to.
go. We already talked about Hulk Hogan, man.
Yeah, I want to keep this a little more fun because I don't think it's actual racism, but Tiffy's.
Oh, I was
Tiffy
going to bring
time.
this up. Yes.
Tiffy time. I know you guys talked about Tiffy last week. I am fully on board Tiffy time. Like
Yes.
we mentioned, I fully want that fucking. I'm all in on Tiffy time being Flavor Flav.
Yes.
I'm all in on the fucking Barbie. We all want it. We all fucking want it. Can we talk about the deleted Instagram story?
Yes, we could talk
Okay,
about
so
it.
I'll be honest, I'm not on Instagram, so I did not see this.
So it was an Instagram story, and it was a quick little clip. It was a repost, so I want to make that clear. It was a repost from Tiffany Stratton. I didn't see it live because she pulled it down, but it was just a clip of her that she reposted of her coming in the corner and knocking Jade off the apron with like an elbow, and then a close-up of Bianca Belair on the mat, and I think it was obviously a clip of a video. I'm not familiar with the video, but it was pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, was it Black Bitch?
That's what it said. That's what the audio. But it wasn't.
No.
Hold on. See.
I'm sure it's
you
not.
can see. I don't have all the context in the world because I've been away. You probably have more than me, but I want to clean it up because I certainly don't think it needs to grow into anything more than it already has on the internet. 100%. We all here take racism very fucking seriously. 100%. Not something to laugh and joke about, but also we got to understand the context that this was in. It sounded like a joke amongst friends. Some quick little repost that might not have had much into it. I don't know if there's more context to it.
The context is as simple as this. This is how I understand it. First and foremost, if you're Tiffany Stratton, even let's just say she was aware of the audio in that video. Yeah. Do you think that she's that dumb to share it? First, let's start there. Second of all, she probably shared, because she reposts a lot of fan videos, so somebody else made that video. It's not Tiffany Stratton saying that, by the way.
No.
It's a dubbed over audio of somebody saying that.
And a repost.
And it's a repost. So somebody made that video, dubbed over the words that Flanny just said. Okay, I'm only 5%. I can't say it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a nice tan now from vacation, but like I think you all know, it's just me.
I mean, I
sharing that as well.
I sunburn in this weather, so I definitely can't say it.
But basically, it's obviously it was some type of joke,
probably like an old viral video or something from something that had completely different context and connotations.
So Tiffany Stratton, this is the assumption that I'm making, shared the video thinking it's her knocking down Jade. And, Jade's,
might not have even listened to the audio.
Definitely. I mean, I would have. I mean, listen, I can't speak for her 100%, and this isn't me just defending Tiffy time because I'm a big fan of hers. Yeah. But like, using common sense, somebody who's getting the rocket ship strapped to their back to the top, you think that she would share a video if she listened to the audio. She deleted it right away. Clearly, she probably was like, let me listen to that. Oh, shit. Yeah. Let me delete that. The internet saying that she needs to go, she needs to be reprimanded. Okay. Dumb mistake, needs to be better and more diligent about the shit that she shares.
A lesson to learn for sure.
A lesson learned.
A lesson to learn.
But the people calling her racist and I saw a lot of stuff saying she's like, oh, I always knew she was a crazy right-wing Republican, and it's like,
no, that was the fucking army veteran woman who we luckily don't. Who is now Lacey Evans, who we don't have the exactly like. When that happens, we see what they do to you and when that happens. And also, I imagine she posted it with these laughing emojis because her and Jade are probably fucking cool behind the scenes, just like I'm sure most of them are.
But she probably also shared it thinking that all it was her getting knocked down.
And also, close-up of Bianca's face was also funny. I'm sure that's where a lot of the comedy came from. So, I don't know. I don't want to sit here like I'm caping for Tiffany Stratton. I don't know anything about her as a person other than she fucking can wrestle her ass off and she's in a relationship with Ludwig Kaiser. That's literally the extent of what I know about fucking Tiffany Stratton.
Same.
But I would like to give her the benefit of the doubt here until other shit comes out. Like, if it comes out. I doubt it, but like...
I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I don't think this is the hill we want to die on. There's way too much actual real shit going on in life and probably even in the business as well that we should take a lot more serious and speak out about. I don't know that this is it.
I just feel like accusing somebody of being a racist is one of maybe like the top 3 worst things you can accuse somebody of. Probably third. But
because when you just throw it around in lessons when people are actually fucking racist.
Right. That's the thing. Like, you need to make sure that person is in fact a racist before you just throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean...
so that was... I did catch some wind of that on
that's
social
a whole different discussion on where we are
with it and
as a society. Yeah. How we're just quick to, we label people things.
And just quick, and similar, like quick to repost stuff and share things and having to be more diligent. I'm sure she learned a hell of a lesson in the midst of all this. Like, oh shit, okay, I probably got to think twice, do that. And, I'd like to think that's all it was.
That's what it sounds like.
I haven't seen Jade say anything publicly. Haven't seen Bianca say anything. I'm sure if they felt a certain kind of way, they might have spoke on it or whatever. So hopefully that's it.
Yeah, but we give people the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. And first of all, people make mistakes. So it's obvious that was a mistake. Whether you think even if on the extreme side, you think that she thought she did hear the audio, she thought it was funny and shared it, but took it down immediately to understanding that it was probably inappropriate. Yeah. Even if, I don't think that's the case, by the way. I think that she just didn't hear it. But even if that's what you think, come on, man. Let's be serious.
Right.
You know, like let's be serious here. Let's not just go crazy with labeling people one thing or the other.
Now we're definitely gonna get her in an on-screen relationship with a black performer.
Oh,
like,
100%.
she's gonna come back.
Bobby
Lashley,
sure. Yeah.
If Vince was here, 100%.
It's gonna be her and Angelo Dawkins.
Yes. Fuck Montez Ford.
Well, we already know he's married, so they wouldn't.
But that's
the
what
cuck
Bianca was in the
line,
video,
yeah.
so that's absolutely what happens.
This is gonna be the cuck situation, like it was with Rusev and Lana.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get.
Shit.
Fucking
Well,
Christ.
hey, whatever. Well, we're past those times.
Don't work
hopefully.
yourself into a shoot.
Do not work yourself into a damn shoot, you jabroni marks.
HH. Although no HH on that one.
Which now makes me wonder, have I been lied to for 13
Speaking
years?
of
Was
racism.
it HH all along?
God.
I don't have much left. Do you guys, Kayfabe Cousins, you guys got anything in AEW? I have been completely checked out there. I haven't had time. I've been WWE focused. I haven't had time for AEW.
So
You've been married and honeymoon. What the hell you got for
Usually
us?
I'm
So,
in, but this week,
out
not
of
so
respect
much.
for you, I didn't do this last week. It's totally because you weren't
appreciate it.
here.
I appreciate
not,
that. I noticed
not
that.
at all because I
noticed
forgot.
that. I noticed
Not
that.
at all because I forgot.
I noticed that. I
Totally 'cause
appreciate-
you weren't
much
here.
appreciated.
I mean, really, the only big thing that came out of it, Darby Allin's back.
He's back.
It's like, that's cool.
Shout out to him coming out in the pink mink. You will appreciate it. He came out in the pink mink like Cam. Was fucking fire. That was cool. I popped.
Yeah, same.
go.
That was the one thing I caught. That was fucking yesterday.
Last night.
That was
yeah.
last night.
I know,
Holy shit! What
yeah.
day is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I
that
don't
was
know what
last
day
night.
it
I was
is.
like fucking 16 hours ago.
Yeah.
That was when Mike woke up.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That was last night. He came in to save the day. Who the fuck? Oh yes, for Anarchy in the Arena.
Right.
For
He's
those of you who
gonna
don't
be
know,
Eddie
it's going to be the
Kingston's
Elite. It was going to be Eddie Kingston, Danielson,
And FTR.
and FTR. Kingston is hurt, which is a shame. But now Darby looks like he's going to take the spot in that. Yeah, it was confirmed. Which came out last night.
Makes me wonder, how hurt is Eddie Kingston when allegedly Darby Allin,
I know
like
the
2
guy
weeks
was
ago,
really fucking hurt.
He
The
also
guy
got hit
couldn't
by a
climb.
bus like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that made
that was real. That was real.
the thing. And
He got hit by
I
a
saw
real
that.
bus.
I saw so many people tweeting that. It
This
was
dude's like, yeah, I'll be back in 2 weeks for this match.
fucking
Like,
insane. And we
fucking-
know Eddie Kingston's one tough son of a
Oh,
bitch.
absolutely.
So if he can't make it, Darby Allin is not. He is Gumby. Convinced.
Yeah.
He is like rock and roll Gumby. But yeah, it was crazy. It was cool to see him back. I popped. It was cool to see him out there. But 100%, I was like, how is he out there?
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing? Like a lot of people probably saw him and thought he was on Mount Everest.
Did you guys-
And others thought he was out because he was really hurt. It was nuts. But kudos to Darby.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video of the guy working on the airplane? They like pulled the stairs away from the airplane as he was about to step onto him and he fell off the
Yes,
plane.
yeah.
And somebody was like, "What's wrong?" They were like, the caption was like, "Oh, this is proof of a work insurance fraud or whatever, or insurance claim." Is always great to have on video. And somebody was like, "What do you mean? Darby Allin has one of these every week."
Right.
He's like, he ain't suing anybody.
Yeah, he's not a human being. I don't know how he's
No,
back
he's-
already or what's going on. And I pray to God that he actually is healthy and okay and not just like, I'm going to kill myself for the business.
I mean,
I hope not.
If he's healthy enough to wrestle, he has to be Wolverine. Like he has adamantium bones.
And honestly, sadly, I think about it, and like,
Kick-ass.
I know we give
Yeah.
AEW a lot of shit, and they deserve a lot of shit that we give them for the shit that they do. I'd like to think they wouldn't just throw a wrestler out there who isn't really cleared or healthy or any of those things, but also, if it was going to happen in one company, it's going to happen in AEW, not WWE.
Right. I mean, I remember the Sammy Guevara Matt Hardy incident
Yes,
where
exactly.
they fell from a genuine like 15, 20 foot thing. Matt Hardy smacked his head on concrete and they thought, no, do 20 more minutes.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
finish the
Just
match.
do 20 more minutes, guys.
Oh my god. So that was like, I think the highlight of yesterday. I didn't see much Mercedes Monet. I'm still having a hard time. I thought it was Mercedes Monet, and then now it's Monet, and I'm having a hard time keeping that. I'm also losing a lot of steam on her in AEW. It's really, really hard to keep up
I
with this. I
think
know we're
she's-
finally going to see her in-ring
Yeah.
debut, but honestly, I don't know how many people are
Like
excited
at this
for
point,
it.
it's almost like, is it too little, too late?
That's my concern. That's
Like,
what I'm
yeah.
worried about. And like they did it a little bit with Edge. They did it a little with certain folks where I'm like, they're dropping the ball here. And also like at first I thought, well, it'd be cool for her to win. I don't want her to beat Willow. I have no desire to see her beat Willow. I'm 200% on the Willow train. I think Willow's been killing it. The promo Willow cut last night was an awesome fucking promo. Putting her through the table was so strong and she looked so good. I think her going through the table was the confirmation that Mercedes is absolutely gonna win.
I mean,
we didn't already think that.
To me, the confirmation Mercedes winning it's her debut match.
Her debut, I
like
know.
they're
They
paying a
first
lot of
held her
money
from
for
Mark.
her. She's not gonna lose.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I loved even fucking Willow's she didn't obviously turn heel, but the comment of like, well, she was like, last time I walked out with the belt and you didn't walk out,
Right.
because she obviously hurt her
Right.
and it was a potential careering injury, not on purpose, of course. But I thought that was cool. But it sucks because I do think Mercedes is gonna win. I don't know if it ends in a Chris Statlander heel turn and that's what happens. So I think that's coming.
I could see that coming. I could also see them saving that for like a post-match beatdown type of thing.
Like her come out and her and Silver come out
Right,
and help them
yeah.
up, and then they turn on her, and then now But yeah, I would much prefer Willow keep the belt and go
I
on an amazing title.
completely agree.
She's fucking so ready.
Yeah. Like she has made she's the only reason I'm still invested in this match.
Yes.
It's because of Will
And
Knight.
even like her and Toni Storm are the only reason why I have any interest in the women's division.
Yeah.
Sadly, overall. Like they got, and this is not a knock to Serena Deeb. I remember watching her in fucking, what production was it? Not Stardom. I forget what it was. Where I first Shimmer. Yes, it was in Shimmer because that's where I first discovered Asuka when she was Kana and Mercedes Martinez and some of the other stars. I remember watching Serena Deeb, and obviously we know her from CM Punk and all that stuff in WWE. But like, I just found out, and this is not a slight, she's only like in her early 30s, I think, and I thought
no, there's no way that's right.
I think she's like 36, so maybe mid 30s.
So like mid 30s.
But I thought she was a lot older than that, and it's nice to, I guess, see her on television, but I'm also like, why is she randomly out here now with Toni Storm? We don't see her for months, we don't see her in any programs, and now you just randomly throw her out there with probably the hottest women's wrestler you have in the company.
Right.
Just confirms that I don't think they really have any rhyme or reason for what they're doing in general, but certainly not with the women's division.
No.
It's a shame.
To me, the big plan for the women's title is Mariah May.
Yeah,
because that's gonna be the completion of their All About Eve story that they've been doing for like a year almost now. And I think maybe All In is where they do that title change.
It makes sense to do it overseas. Yeah. It makes sense.
Especially because Mariah May's British. I think she's from England, so like give her a big win in her home country.
No, that would be cool. So. And I think, like you said, that would be the right way to culminate that. Yeah. Because as much as Toni Storm is, like we just said, they're throwing different people at her. What's the one constant in this whole thing has been Mariah.
Exactly.
Right? Even though she's been with her, but she's been the constant. So that was cool. One other thing I thought that didn't happen when they announced last night that Eddie Kingston was out, I was thinking of potential returns, and I thought MJF could have slotted into that spot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the natural would have been like Moxley or Castagnoli because of their... But I was like, yo, this could be a really cool opportunity to bring MJF back.
That would be sick. I mean, he might still be injured, and he might not be under contract.
That's what I'm thinking, too. It's like the longer and longer it goes, the more I'm like, when and where are we going to see him? So, interesting.
I mean, there's a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a chance we don't see him again until the Royal Rumble when he signed a new deal with WWE.
Jesus Christ.
Because like I think if WWE is going to debut, if he is going to sign with them and they're going to debut him, I kind of think that's where they would do it. That's where you'll get the biggest surprise pop out of it.
Just that at 29 at 30 would, oh my god.
It legally would have to be different, but similar.
But, oh man, just that would be dope. That would be awesome. But I am very just curious to see. I know he had a lot of injuries and he beat the hell up, and I think he just needed overall rest. Similar like Seth, they just need rest. But like I feel like in the next few months we'll start to, it'll start to pick back up again. Where is he going to be? What's going to happen? So
the real interesting is if he is going to stay with AEW, are they gonna pick up the him and Adam Cole thing, or are they just gonna move on from that?
Yeah,
it's been so long now.
Point, I know. It's like, do you even go back?
Which would really suck because that was like such a big thing for them at the end of last year.
I know.
That was like their whole company,
like going in all in, like that carried it. The fucking obviously the tag team match at the beginning, and then that, it'd be interesting.
Very nice. Kayfabe Kousins with the update on everything else happening. I've been so fucking tuned out.
Yeah, it's been hard.
Yeah.
It's been hard. But don't they have a pay-per-view is it this weekend?
Next weekend.
Same day.
King and Queen of the Ring Saturday.
And their Sunday.
Double or Nothing Sunday.
There you go. Wrestling weekend. It's going to be jam-packed.
Yeah. And of course, the Saturday show in the afternoon, Sunday show will end at 1 a.m.
Yeah, but at least next week's a 3-day weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
So like it won't be that big of a deal.
Take it back, Tony Khan. Take it back.
I mean, I'd still prefer you do Saturdays, but this is better, I guess.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Guys, it's great to have the gang back together. It's good to be back. Keep making sure you share everything you guys see. Subscribe on YouTube. Share with your friends. Like the video. Comment. Give us feedback. Follow us all on social media.
And also, new segment coming up soon. So now the two of us have a ring.
Yeah.
It's only right we got to get this one.
Yeah.
So we're going to figure out like a Queen of the Flanabam kind of contest. We're going to start to work this out.
I like that.
And I think, we build and culminate next year. We can either culminate at SummerSlam when you and LeBron
you guys have a match.
It could be a mixed tag match. Or we're just going to build towards Mania next year. And in Vegas, whoever wins, we're taking it to a little wedding chapel. And we're going to make this a trio.
Oh, yeah. We have it to Vegas.
Our advertising is, do you hate yourself? Are you desperate? Do we have the guy for you?
Do you enjoy self-deprecating jokes? We have the guy for you.
That's it. We're gonna find somebody.
Everything is Pro Wrestling, episode 11 in the books.
Shout out to Puck too, man. Got the new tee on this week.
Love that.
Ooh,
Love coming home. Came home to a nice pack from my man Puck. A couple tees that I grabbed recently. This one and the Stone Cold Super Bowl tee.
Hell yeah.
So happy to get this one out there, rocking that. Also got my first ever fourth rope tee from our main man Westside Gun. Really cool. Heels have eyes.
Oh,
The whole contrast
I
on the
like
front
that.
is just eyes of like Randy Orton and Razor Ramon and DiBiase and all these heels over the years. So shout out to wrestling merch, man. Wrestling merch is in the best place it's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
It's in a
in
good
the
spot.
best place it's ever been. So yeah, shout out to the man Pup.
See you guys next week. Peace.